Leadership isn't about power. It's about presence. And nobody tells you that until it's too late. Leadership caught me off guard, not because it was hard, but because it was nothing what I had ever imagined. I thought it meant to be flexible, work long hours, be right, know everything, be the fixer. But it's not. In reality, it's messier, it's quieter, it's lonelier, and it's a lot more personal than anyone ever told me. What I discovered the hard way is what I now call the leadership mirror framework. And it all starts with the very uncomfortable truth. The hardest person to lead is yourself. And that's what this video is all about. Hey, my name is Camilla, and if you're new to this channel, I am a leadership mentor and success coach, and I help women leaders take their life and their career to the next level. This channel is all about growth, self-leadership, energetics, spirituality, and self-love. And today, I'm sharing with you the 7 truths I wish somebody had told me before I even accepted my very first leadership role. And the 7 truth is something I live by and something I teach my clients because it will shift how you see life. It's simple, it's easy, but it's not easy to implement because you get to rewire yourself. So lean in, welcome, and let's get started. The first truth I want to share with you is that if you are showing up in your world to be liked, then you are running on empty. You want to drop being a transactional leader and you want to step into the realm of being a transformational leader. You can only be a transformational leader when you allow yourself to be powerful, when you give yourself the permission to ask bold questions, show up with integrity, authenticity, wanting to help other people succeed. There's very 2 different perspectives of why you have the role that you have. Either you are in that role to do a job or you're in that role to create the future. And if you want to create more impact in this world, you want to show up being respected and you want to ask bold questions. I wish somebody had introduced me to drop being liked because that exhausts you. Start being respected because then you allow yourself to ask bold questions. Once you stop performing for approval, you build real self-trust. And that leads to something unexpected. You will question yourself more, not less. And here I want to introduce the book 2X Mindset versus the 10X Mindset. But if you're new to this, the 2X Mindset is the linear progress. But if you want to have more time freedom, if you want to create greater results, if you want to create the future, you have to embrace the unknown. You have to embrace the future. You have to embrace the process. And that's scary. It's scary to embrace the unknown. And that's where the fear shows up. That's where you start to take plan B rather than plan A because fear show up. But if you want to create the future, you want to let go of the known and you want to embrace the unknown, which means that you're going to question yourself more. You're doing what you're doing and then just trust the process. You will question yourself more, but that shouldn't hold you back from where you want to go next in both in career and in life. And whenever doubt shows up loud and clear, remember that people mirror your energy, not your words. If you want to take your life and career to the next level, be aware of the energy you radiate on. I wish somebody had taught me this when I was 20 or even in school. Energy is everything. That's also why we focus so heavily on aligning the inner world, because your outer world reflects your inner world. If your outer world is chaotic, your inner world is chaotic. You don't trust yourself. You don't believe yourself. You don't own your own value. Everything starts from within. So if your team members do not do what you want them to do, look within. How confident do you show up? And you say, I'm confident. Well, but what energy do you radiate on? And I oftentimes have this stick. Do you radiate on abundance and freedom, or do you radiate on fear? You get to be really vulnerable and really honest with yourself, but you cannot radiate on both of them at the same time. So what energy do you radiate on the most? And what's the next level for you? If you radiate on abundance, amazing. But what's even better than that? What's the next level of abundance for you? People mirror your energy, not your words. And here's the good news. You do not have to be perfect to be powerful. You just have to be curious. That takes me to truth number 4, which is you do not have to know everything. You just need to ask better questions. And what does that actually mean? I wish somebody had told me and taught me that. And for most of my career, I thought I needed to have all the answers. And I think it comes from school that we need to know all the answers. If you want to create something new, you want to learn to ask better questions. And the way to ask better questions is to slow down. And right now I'm thinking about it. I embodied confidence masterminders, and we double down on that of slowing down. You cannot be operational and asking bold questions, because then you simply tap into the record of the past, what you know to be true. If you want to create the future, ask bolder questions. And that only comes when you allow yourself to slow down, when you allow yourself to tap into intuition, when you listen to your body, and say you want to come from a place of setting other people up for success. I serve so many women who said, I don't want to ask that question because what if I come across as arrogant? But then you're actually telling yourself, I do come across, because you have not yet mastered coming across as authentic and effortless as you want to do. The best way for you to take your life and career to the next level, you're probably going to hear me say that a lot in this video, is to slow down and be curious and really wanting to set other people up for success. And here's a psychological tip or insight. If you help other people grow, that will be a double blessing for you. And for you to ask bolder questions, that is one skill most people avoid. And that is that of setting healthy boundaries. You cannot believe how often people reach out to me because they tolerate way too much. My private clients, they know they are capable of more. They know they have more to unleash, but they have not set up healthy boundaries for themselves. You want to set healthy boundaries up for yourself. I wish somebody had told me about boundaries, introduced me to boundaries when I was very young. It goes both in your professional life and your personal life. Set healthy boundaries for yourself. And the way to do that is to nail your values, what you tolerate, what you don't tolerate. Look in your life right now. What do you tolerate? What is draining you? And then what is that next version of you? When you do not tolerate, how do you show up? It's not about being bossy. You can have boundaries and be kind. But it's about finding that beautiful balance of having boundaries and being respectful at the same time, and being authentic and asking bold questions and giving yourself the permission to be powerful. I struggle to get people on my agenda. Look at your calendar. How do you set boundaries for your own time? Set boundaries for your own time, your personal growth, what you want to achieve, what you need to achieve this day, so you don't procrastinate the most important things. Set healthy boundaries for yourself. By doing that, you are on a very successful trajectory to take your life to the next level. More freedom, happiness, and more of life. Here's the part no one tells you. Your triggers will follow you wherever you go. If you haven't started your inner work, it would be a really good idea to be curious about that inner work. I started my inner work years ago. After mentor help, I asked, do you want to be on my professional team once again? They said yes. But this time, we also want to work on who you are today and who you want to become. That was the door to my personal development. And I never regretted that somebody actually called me out. I was actually sabotaging my own career and my own life. You want to be very curious about your triggers. So spend time with your triggers. Decide right now what reality you want to create and drop those triggers. Those triggers will always follow you wherever you go. But whenever you're triggered, and I teach this a lot these days, is that bless the other person for being in your life, because that person is highlighted as another trigger that you can work on. But here's where your leadership matures. When you choose to surround yourself with truth tellers, not cheerleaders, then you're on a fast track to your next level of success in life and career. And what do I mean by that? You're the average of the 5 people you see the most. So if these 5 people are negative, you're negative as well. You will be influenced how they believe life is, and that will keep you stuck. What I now know is that there are multiple realities in this world. There's multiple versions of you right now. That took me a long time to understand. But where you are right now is because that is the version you are right now. But there's also another version out there of you who has more success in life and career. So if you want to take your career to the next level, if you want to take your how you lead to the next level, surround yourself with like-minded people who want to explore more of life, who want to enjoy more of life, because real growth doesn't happen alone. There's an African saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go farther, go together. And it's so true. You cannot level up on your own. Yes, it does require that you invest time on yourself. But it's like you probably heard, work on yourself, work on your career, and not only in your career. I also wish somebody had told me that. That is truth number 8. Spend time on yourself. Spend time on your career. Spend time on your life, not just doing it, not just being it. You will benefit from actually taking time out to work on yourself. Connect with that next version of you. Connect with your future, because if you're not creating and connecting with your future, you're replicating the past, and that's not why you're here. You want to create the future. So take time out to work on yourself. And circling back to 7, make sure that you're in circles with like-minded people who also want more out of life. That was the end of my video, the 7 truths nobody told me about leadership. If you enjoyed it, let me know which of the 7 truths you're ready to practice today. And also let me know in the comments below what topic do you want me to talk about in one of my upcoming videos. I may be able to create that video in the near future. Thank you for being here. I'm also dropping a card over here for another video that will help you take your life and your career to the next level. I love you so much. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.